As I've been thinking about this topic, I guess I've worked with so many different people over the years, women and men who have experienced domestic abuse. And there's one woman and her daughter who come to mind. Now, I encountered them in a sort of drop-in centre that I was working in, and they came to see me for advice. But they came to see me for advice with bagfuls of, well, sort of black bin liners full of all their stuff. So they came for advice to say, what do I do? I've just left our house because my husband, she was married, is physically violent to me. He controls every aspect of my life, and I've escaped today with my daughter. I didn't think there was any other time that I could do it because he controls my life. And so, of course, we kind of stepped into action quite quickly, and were able, thankfully, to gain her a place in a refuge that meant she had a safe place for her and her daughter to live. But let's be under no illusions, refuges are not necessarily easy places to live, crowded with lots of other women and their children. But thankfully, this woman was also connected with the local church. And one of the things that the local church were able to do, to start with, they just supported her by sometimes looking after her daughter if she had an appointment that she needed to go to. They provided somewhere that she could store her belongings until she could get more permanent housing arranged and sorted out. And as the church walked alongside the sort of expert agencies that were supporting her, a relationship grew, and she slowly learned that she could trust these people. To start with, they were useful, the church was useful to her, but what she learned is that they were kind, and that they were loving, and that they were trustworthy, that they were safe. Because working in the local drop-in centre, we were able to advise them and guide them on safe ways that they could provide help and support for her in a way that meant her abusive and controlling husband wasn't able to find her. When she thankfully finally got accommodation away to an area over the other side of the town, where her daughter could kind of resume going to school and life was a little bit more normal for her, that's when things actually became more difficult, and her husband found where she was. In the local community, the domestic abuse support service, we were able to support her with the expert things, if you like, of seeking solicitors, of seeking police involvement, of seeking to make sure her house was secure with locks and windows and alarms, that she could be supportive if she needed. What the church were able to do is they were still there. They hadn't gone away. Even when the experts had gone away, the church was still there. They were still walking alongside her. They were still offering to support her. They were still cooking her the odd meal, making friends with her. And she'd learnt that that was her family, because she was a long, long way from where she'd originally been brought up. And they dealt with all of those challenges together. And of course, as she did, she journeyed in her own way with learning about, well, who is this God who offers hope beyond hope? Because she'd hoped that she could be free from her abusive husband. She'd hoped that her daughter could grow up without the fear of control and violence. But she'd never dare hope that the God who loves us all and loves her could restore such joy and a sense of freedom to her life. And it was a privilege to be able to walk with her throughout the whole time.